Trinity, Wakefield, Trinity 19. Oh, sports is so cruel, isn't it? Unlucky Wakefield, you are now finally relegated. Put out your misery, albeit you have given it everything that you have got. And I salute that and I respect you for that. You really have been a little bit unfortunate in some of the games. And this, again, may be one of those. An opportunity, of course, to win this in golden point extra time with that attempt from Max Jowett that was, to be fair, pretty poor. But that's all about setup. You know, surely that should have gone to a Luke Gale, a Lino, maybe. But hey, it's one of those things now. It's in the record books. Gareth O'Brien getting the all-important drop goal to get Leigh a 2019 win. Leigh Leopards fans, you've got to be a bit concerned. You know, you really are whimpering out a little bit at the back end of this season. The results just not really coming your way since that Challenge Cup win. You know, is it now starting to bite? Do you still believe that you can go and do the double? Do you really care? It's been such a good season for you guys. But yeah, I mean, 2019, but let's give credit, I think, to Wakey. They went there and they fought with everything they've got. And when you consider, they went down after 3 minutes to an early Tom Briscoe try. And at that point, you're thinking, oh, hey up, here we go. We know what Leigh's all about. We know what Leigh can do. Is this going to be painful? But then Liam Hood, responds in kind 5 minutes later on, 8 minutes, and suddenly we have got a game of rugby league. Outstanding stuff. Really, really good indeed. Then Josh Charnley goes in at 20 minutes for his 26th try of the campaign. Still, of course, trying to get top try scorer, albeit Aberystwyth overtook him, of course, last night with his 27 try, 5 try haul for Aberystwyth. Josh Charnley will have been rubbing his eyes when he saw that, I'm sure. Bit more work to do there, Josh, if you're going to finish on top this season. But, of course, he's had an incredible season, hasn't he? And that, of course, meant that the Leopards were 12 points to 6 up. And that's the way it stayed until half-time. And then after half-time, it got even worse for Wakefield Trinity. Jack Hughes going over for a try for Leigh. And all of a sudden, we're at 16 points to 6. So at this point, you're probably saying to yourself, they're going to struggle here. They're going to struggle. And then Lee Kershaw goes over for the Leigh Leopards on 45. And I've got to pay a lot of tribute to Kershaw. Kershaw, for me, has been brilliant for Wakefield in this running. He has shown his pride. He has shown his passion. A brace in this one. We'll get to his second try in a minute. 153 metres from 18 carries from Kershaw. The chairman and Mark Applegarth at full time paying tribute to Lee Kershaw, and rightly so. He had a brilliant game. He gave his all. He also talked in the post-match interview about his second rows, Tanganoa and Ashurst. I mean, we're a big fan of Matty Ashurst here at Super League Raw. Of course, Mr. Wakefield is what we call him. And of course, Tanganoa, who's returned, played last week, played again this week, and he showed his value. 101 metres, 12 carries, 32 tackles. He does his work. So too does Ashurst, 36 tackles. I mean, that's what they bring to Wakefield Trinity. They have missed Tanganoa this year, Wakefield, without any question whatsoever. But yeah, like I say, then back they come, and suddenly it's 16 points to 10. 16 points to 12, because of course Leo got the conversion. And then another try for Kershaw that brought it to 16 points apiece, 51 minutes. So really plenty of rugby league still to be played. And then from there, it really then started to become a goal fest. 2 penalties apiece before, of course, then it became golden point, drop goal fest. Then we started to get some drop goals going in, going over. And then, of course, Gareth O'Brien getting that all-important drop goal that makes sure that Wakefield are taken down and Leigh hold on to 4th. But let me tell you now, Leigh Leopards, we said this on Super League Raw Weekly this week. Could they lose that 4th position? And I think they could. I really do. I think the way that all KR are currently playing, I mean, Leigh at the moment have got a +4 and against of 81. If KR were to win against Salford this afternoon, of course, that's going to shorten that gap even more. And next week, KR are going to be playing a deflated Wakefield Trinity that you would expect them to win. And Leigh are going up against Wigan Warriors. So I'm telling you now, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if against Wigan, that's Leigh's final home game of the season. Do not be surprised. I think everybody's saying that this is Sean Kenny-Dowell's final game at Craven Park this afternoon. I'm not so sure. I think Hull KR at the moment have got momentum. Don't get me wrong, Salford are going to be a stern challenge this evening. That's going to be a game that has to be watched. I think that's going to be a really good, well, it's our game of the week. It says it all. That's why we chose it as game of the week. I think it's going to be a really good game that tonight, one not to be missed. But I'm telling you now, do not count out Hull KR for 4th spot. And of course, they will be entertaining the Leigh Leopards. If that's the case, I think it's certainly going to be a Leigh Hull KR first playoff game. The question is, at what venue is that game going to be played at? But like I say, sport is incredibly, incredibly harsh, isn't it? I mean, I really do feel for the Wakefield Trinity. Got to give a few shout outs to Leigh. I mean, Leigh, they contributed brilliantly well to this game. Like we said already, Charlie going in for his 26th try of the campaign. Oliver Gildart had a really good game at centre, 144 metres, 15 carries. He did a tackle bust in there. He got an assist as well. Gildart, a lot of talk. Is Gildart going to stay at Leigh, or will he go to Hull KR at the end of the season? That Tyrone May deal at Hull KR, there's a lot of rumour, a lot of murmurings that perhaps there was a gentleman's agreement that if Leigh stood aside for May, because Leigh were in for Tyrone May, don't worry about that. If Leigh stood aside for Tyrone May, would they relinquish Oliver Gildart? Big question. We know that Oliver Gildart's family lived this side of the Pennines, so that's going to be one to watch, I think, over the close season. Don't be surprised if Oliver Gildart remains a Leigh Leopards player. Yet again, Tom Amone, 208 metres in this game from Amone from 29 carries. That is brutal, brutal stuff. And he also did 31 tackles. Yet again, Tom Amone shooing for the Super League 4 Dream Team and shooing for the main Dream Team. Forget what Barry McDermott says about the likes of Liam Byrne. No chance at all. Tom Amone, 100%, he will be in the Dream Team this season. I think Mulhern's not going to be a million miles off. 144 metres again in this one, 31 tackles in defence. Mulhern's had a really good signing. A lot of people actually are putting Robbie Mulhern as probably the most improved player in 2023 from the established Super League crew. Personally speaking, I think that's a really good shout. I think Mulhern has been outstanding all year and has played really good. Kai O'Donnell from second row, another 108 metres from him. So like I say, it's not that Leigh weren't a part of this game. Of course, they were a part of this game. There were times where Leigh just looked as if they were going to walk away and win it with ease. What you've got to do in times like this is really pay tribute to the opposition. Wakefield, absolutely outstanding. They give it their absolute all. They've lost by a point. They've done that a couple of times. Salford away, earlier in the campaign, come to mind. They've had that. Unfortunately, in really tight games, they've come out on the wrong side of it. But I think, credit has got to go to Mark Applegarth, took full responsibility for the season that they have had as the coach, which all good coaches actually do. I think he knows and we know that had he picked up a few more wins earlier in the campaign, who knows? But Castleford breathing a massive sigh of relief, having gone down 48 points to 6 at Wigan, because had Wakey have done what many would have considered to be the impossible and won this, what a game that would have been against Hull KR next week, and Castleford really would have been sweating indeed, because as memory serves me right, Castleford go to Leeds next week. How much would Leeds have loved to have sent Castleford down? That'd have been interesting, wouldn't it? But anyway, there you go. Brilliant win. Absolutely brilliant win. Fair play to Leigh. They're just about hanging on there to fourth, 20 points to 19. Unlucky to Wakefield. We wish you well in the Championship. We know off the field you're putting things in place to get your scoring criteria in check to return to Super League for 2025. I fancy you to do that as well. The question now is how many of those crown jewels that are in that Wakefield team, the likes of Jowett, Jai Whitbread, Tanginoa, there is three players already where there's going to be big question marks. What is happening with the crown jewels within that team? Where are they going to be in 2024? Would you take one of them in your team? I'm just going to put that out there. Jai Whitbread, Max Jowett, and Kalepi Tanginoa. Would you take any of those three in your side next year, or would you pick another one out of that Wakefield side and bring them to your club? Let us know in the chat, because no question about it, that Wakefield team, the chairman has said it's going to be trimmed down to 22. They're going to use the dual registration to their advantage next season. So there are going to be some players that are up for grabs from Wakefield Trinity. Would you take one? If so, which one? There's a debate for you. Anyway, well done to Leigh. Congratulations to them. Unlucky Wakefield. We'll see you in 2025. That's been In the Sheds. We'll see you next time.